150 light-years from Earth, something is watching over us. That's what the contactees say. That's what the witnesses, the dreamers, the believers have written down across decades of testimony. And whether you take it as folklore, as cosmic mythology, or as something stranger, the story of the Arcturians is one of the most consistent legends in modern UFO lore. They are said to live near Arcturus, the brightest star in the constellation Boötes, a red giant blazing 40 times the size of our sun, visible to the naked eye on any clear night. Their home planet, the stories say, sits in that system, and the beings who call it home are described as one of the most advanced and most ancient civilizations in the known universe. Some accounts go further. They say the Arcturians do not exist in the same physical reality we do. They inhabit the fifth dimension, a layer of existence beyond our three of space and one of time. From there, they reach into our world, not with weapons, not with conquest, but with a kind of guidance that some witnesses describe as almost divine. The contactees describe them like this: just over 4 feet tall, slim, with skin the color of deep ocean blue, luminous, as if it holds its own faint inner light. 3 long fingers on each hand, and a head disproportionately large for the body, a high, smooth forehead that hints at an intelligence older than civilization itself. Their eyes, the witnesses say, are not cruel. They're calm, patient. The eyes of beings who have already seen the ending of 100 worlds and who are watching ours very carefully. They are peaceful. They do not abduct. They do not experiment. They appear, the modern stories say, in bedrooms in the middle of the night, in ordinary suburban homes, in cities you would recognize. A figure standing at the foot of the bed, blue and softly glowing, and a voice that speaks not in language, but directly into the mind. The contactee wakes in the morning unsure if it was a dream, and then it happens again. Most of these encounters, the witnesses say, are not random. They happen at the threshold between life and death. The Arcturians, according to the lore, are the ones who help souls cross. They guide the dying through cleansing, through healing, through what some traditions would call rebirth. And their philosophy is built around a single word: love. They teach that the secret to existing in the fifth dimension is the deliberate choice of love over fear. That guilt, anger, and negativity must be processed and released, transformed into respect, into compassion, into the frequency that allows higher consciousness to emerge. To them, love is not an emotion. It is a technology, a frequency, a key.
But the Arcturians are not only philosophers, they are builders. The legends say their civilization mastered interstellar travel millions of years ago, when humans on Earth were still climbing out of the trees, and the ships they fly are unlike anything we would ever design. They are not chrome and steel. They are stone and gold and living glyph. Vessels that look more like temples than spacecraft, carved with symbols that pulse with their own slow light. Old technology, older than our planet, and capable, the witnesses say, of bending space itself. And here is where the story takes its strangest turn. According to those who claim to have spoken with them, the reason Earth has not been invaded, the reason humanity has not been harvested, enslaved, or destroyed by the more aggressive species said to roam the cosmos, is the Arcturians. Their ancient temple craft, patrolling silently at the edges of our solar system. Their reputation, known to every hostile civilization that has ever considered us prey. The galaxy, the contactees say, does not see Earth as defenseless. It sees Earth as protected by something old and luminous and impossibly powerful. The Arcturian society itself is governed by a class of beings called the Elders. They are not chosen by election. They are not promoted by power. They simply live longer than any of the others, sometimes for thousands of years. And through that immense span of time, they accumulate the wisdom that allows them to lead. The elders, the stories say, are the most respected beings on Arcturus, the keepers of the philosophy, the captains of the ships, the voices that decide which worlds receive contact and which do not. Earth, apparently, does receive contact, just rarely, and just enough. The skeptics will call this a myth, a modern fairy tale wrapped in the language of science fiction, borrowing the name of a real star to lend itself credibility. They will point out that no scientific instrument has ever detected an Arcturian craft, that every account is anecdotal, that every contactee is unverifiable. And they may be right. But there is something striking about the Arcturian story that other UFO myths do not have. It does not center on fear. It does not warn of invasion. It does not threaten harvest or hybridization or extinction. It tells a different story. A story in which we are not alone, and we are not in danger. A story in which somewhere out beyond Boötes, a civilization older than our species, has decided that we are worth protecting. Whether that story is invention or revelation, no one can prove. But across cultures, across decades, across thousands of independent witnesses who never met each other and never compared notes, the description has stayed the same. 4 feet tall, blue luminous skin, 3 fingers, a philosophy of love, a temple craft, a watchful presence 150 light years away. Maybe it's coincidence, maybe it's collective imagination, or maybe, just maybe, there is something to the idea that Earth is not the only world thinking about its own survival. Tonight, when the constellation Boötes rises in the east, look for the brightest star in it, Arcturus, an old, red, distant sun, and ask yourself, quietly, honestly, whether anything is looking back.